Hello? Anyone here? Let me open this. Not playing that. Alright, played that. Affictionate. There we go. Gonna set things up. Ah! There we go. Am I in frame? Hopefully. So anything scary happens. I wish I could play some like happy music, but I can't. Here we go. This is Aftercare. I finally have Aftercare on my stream. I literally said I would do that. I literally said I would do that, and here we are. Alright. Oh wait, no. There you go. But this is a new visual novel. Found something to go on Steam. Steam. I don't really like going on Steam to find games. I don't know. It's just not my kind of thing. Don't have anything against Steam. Just no. There's not much visual novels and stuff, or good quality games. I don't like. I like going on itch more. So, but this is a new visual novel. Basically, we are a writer creating an OC, and that OC becomes real. So, let's start. Don't crackle audio. Why would it be crackling? I don't know. Let me check stream. I don't know how it sounds. Hello? How does it sound? Hello? How does it sound? Okay, it sounds okay. Hello? How does it sound? Okay, it sounds fucking ads. Right. There we go. Wish you could stop stream without things going wrong. But I can't. Alright. Sorry, my phone charger is being a bitch. wish I could start stream. Will you keep that way? Hopefully. Alright, let's just start. Before we get started, let's get to know each other a bit. What is your preferred gender? Male. Great, the story will now refer to you as he, him. Well, I don't get why some people... I think this was on Steam tagged as Otome. Why is some tagged as Otome and then this stuff is there? I don't get it. Maybe I'm out of the loop of what terms actually mean. But that means it's targeted towards girls. I tend to avoid those kinds of games. I'm getting confused. Fuck. Snow. It's a pleasure to meet you, Snow. This is your story. What is that? Is that an already existing character I don't know about? Uh-oh. Turning things down. The sharp buzz of my phone notifications cuts through my sleep, directing me back to the surface. The afternoon light shines through the gap in my blackout curtains. Napping in the middle of the day, when did I become this messy? I scramble to find my phone amidst the clutter of empty takeout containers, tangled cables and cans on the bedside table. When I manage to grab it and hold it up to my face, the name Hannah greets me in bright letters on the screen. There we go. I hesitate, nearly swiping my thumb towards the red button to hang up. I've been avoiding most of my friends for a while now, but that's not really fair to any of them. Hannah and I have been best friends since we were kids. She doesn't deserve the silent treatments because I'm embarrassed about my life. With a deep breath, I tap the green button and accept the call. Hey, stranger. I feel like I haven't heard you from you in forever. I know. I've been kind of in a hole. Sorry. Don't worry about it. I figured you were buried in a new job or something. You laughed awkwardly. Or something. Ugh, oof. Any bites at all? Honestly, not really. I've sent out so many applications, I've lost count. Yeah. Same. I'm still trying to get a job. Actually, I'm trying to get a job. Can't fucking get anything. I can literally see the not viewed status next to half of them. Yeah. That's the worst. Have you tried calling the places? Like, just to remind them you exist? I used to. Everyone just told me to be patient. The manager will get to it eventually. They never. Spoiler, they did not. It's so frustrating. Right? It's been a real energy drain. Stop crackling audio. There's no way that actually fixed that. That's just for you. That's just monitoring for you. I don't hear that. This I don't hear. Sorry if that actually hurts your ears. I don't hear that. But that fixed it. What the fuck? I don't know. The crackling I'm hearing. Wait, what about rent? Are you doing okay? Yeah, my parents are covering me while I figure it out. Okay, that's a relief. Honestly, I was honestly about to ask if you needed anything. You know I'd help out, right? Even if it's just groceries. I know, thank you, Hannah. Always. Anyways, putting the job thing aside for a sec, how's living on your own treating you? I glance around my little apartment and wince, as if Hannah were able to see it over the phone. She had come with housewarming gifts when I first moved in. Everything was neat and tidy at the time. What would she think if she could see it now? This isn't horrible. I have worse than that. Piles of laundry everywhere. My books cluttered with manga, old textbooks, and knickknacks. My desk, a collection of worn notebooks, scattered papers sporting my scrawled writings, and several jars of pencils, pens, and a fancy writing quill that I never use, but somehow has become scraggly sad. As I have noticed, can I fix this? 3-band equalizer. Turn that down a bit, not too much, to where you can't hear me. There you go. Hopefully this sounds good. Hopefully this sounds good. I can do that another time. Ow. Sorry. Okay. I try not to look up through the doorway to my kitchen, where the dishes are piled up visibly high in the sink. Force another smile and crack a joking response. Could be worse, beats a dorm room. I guess anything would feel spacious after living like that for so long. Don't you like having 5 roommates at once? Just for one semester, but it was the longest of my life. I don't know how you got through that. Only by hiding in the corner of the campus library with my manga as often as I could. Fictional characters were so much easier to spend time with than with my roommates. I had a lot of studying to do, so I was just focused on that. Not that it's doing me much good right now. It feels like it's been so long since I graduated and that life has gone nowhere. Even if it feels that way, I'm sure that's not true. Still in a transition phase, that's all. My parents have been saying the same thing to me for over a year. This is exactly why I've been avoiding everyone. Sorry to hear the same pity in their voices. It makes me feel like I'm more of a failure. I can't bring myself to respond to her. The longer the pause stretches, the more awkward I feel. Maybe you just need a night out with friends. A couple of us are heading out for dinner later, if you'd like to join us. Actually, why I've called. We've all missed you. A night out without having to think about my situation might be nice. Train wreck of an apartment has been my sanctuary away from the outside world. When I sit down at my desk with my laptop and notebooks, I can lose myself in my writing without having to step foot out my door. That's been the one upside to it all. At least I can write as much as I want now, with no homework, no group projects, and no roommates asking why I'm still up at 3 a.m. Writing has been my escape hatch. Awards in school, a couple competition placements, just enough validation to make me think I could do it forever. But I ended up choosing the responsible path instead. A career with a real band. And look how that turned out. These days, the only thing I'm building in fictional worlds where I actually have my shit together. But I also haven't seen any of my friends in far too long. The longer I avoid them, the harder it will be to see them again in the future. What am I even afraid of? None of my friends are going to judge me. That might be nice, actually. Honestly, it'd be good to get out and get some fresh air. Where are you guys going? It's a cute little gastro pub that opened about a month ago. It's family owned and is just dripping with atmosphere. I'll send you the directions. Okay. Got it, thanks. See you there at 5. We say our goodbyes and then the call. I'm still sitting on my sofa and staring blearily around me. From across the room I see my reflection in the wall mirror that came with the place. I look perfectly at home in the mess around me. My hair is falling out of the loose knot. I tied it up in this morning. My eyes look heavy and bored. Honestly, I'm thinking about like meeting my OCs. It's not in a romantic way. None of them I feel romantic about because that'd be weird. 3 of them I'd be fine with chilling out. 1 of them I'm going to beat up. I'm going to kill. I'm grabbing a knife from the kitchen and I am stabbing them repeatedly. Or just torturing them. I don't know where I torture them. Where's a place that no one would find? Why am I thinking about this? But you know, you just have that character. Like, I'm not a artist drawer, but I am a writer. And I have a story thing, and one of the characters is King Samuel. I'm going to kill him. If I see him, I'm going to kill him. He's going to die. Anyway. Maybe a worse fate than Karma gives him. Anyway. Karma being another character I have. Anyway. It just makes me think about that. The other 2, I'm like, I know they would be mad at me for the fate they've had. Alright, anyway, I'm not gonna think about that anymore. My hair is falling out of the loose knot I tied up in this morning. My eyes look heavy and bored. And the pajamas I've been in all day are stained with both coffee and ketchup from my last 2 meals. I feel sickened at the thought of any of my friends walking through the door and seeing me like this. I get up from the sofa and head to the bathroom to make myself presentable. Getting ready takes longer than it should because every step feels like I'm gearing up for battle. By the time I'm out the door, I almost feel like a functioning human being. Almost. Getting here took a bit longer than I expected, with the rustic charm wins me over fast. It's the kind of place where you can take your family and still order margaritas, which I was told are a must-have. The atmosphere blended nostalgic familiarity with a modern edge. The perfect example of this was the wall of exposed brick and hanging greenery in the waiting area. The fall vintage display came with a remote to adjust the lighting for perfect social media photos. Once we were all there, it was a perfect icebreaker to gather and close and snap a picture. We were going to have a fun night no matter what troubles we brought with us. Despite that, I still dreaded conversation with any of them. I knew that at some point they'd realize that I didn't have anything meaningful to talk about like they did. At least that's what I thought until Hannah started talking about deja vu and multiverses. Hannah could be a little ditzy sometimes, but her uplifting energy really is captivating. Okay, listen, I'm serious. Deja vu could literally just be different timelines intersecting for like a few seconds. Honestly, okay, I need to talk about deja vu. I've had situations with deja vu, whether that be years ago or soon, but I remember like years ago having situations of deja vu, and the things I dread in the future has happened. Like, I don't remember exactly everything that happened, but yeah. It's like, is it? Am I seeing the possibilities of the future? That's why I have deja vu. I don't know. I saw a guy explain it on Tiki Talkie. Why does that make me laugh? Tiki Talkie, okay. That's why it's so freaking. No one can explain it. Do you realize how impossible it would be for a new universe to spring into existence based on the choices of every person on the planet? God, they're attractive. Alright. That's way too many. Isn't that why they'd say there are infinite timelines, just like a crazy forever amount? Yeah, I guess it's less of universes are being created out of nowhere and more of like things are already created. Universes are already created. So does that mean, I think that brings the question, does free will exist? That also brings that question. Does free will exist? If certain, timelines are set in place, does free will exist? That's why it's such a phenomenal idea, though. It literally blows your mind if you think about it for too long. If you put on your sandals instead of your sneakers, that means another version of you who did choose sneakers is out there. Somewhere. If there are more than one universe, I doubt random people with choices would decide when a whole timeline gets created. It seems more likely that each timeline, or no, would that mean like, it's like a path. So I guess timelines being created is more like a path. So you get to choose which path you want to go on. So I guess free will does exist. I don't know. Whatever. My mind's gaining weird things. Anyway. It seems more likely that each timeline would be made up of entirely different people. I don't think our choices matter in the grand scheme of things. I know, I'm talking a lot. I've always thought of the question that like couples ask is, would we be together in like every timeline, every universe? Like, no, because infinite possibilities mean, infinite universes where you're not together, but also infinite possibilities you are together. I don't know. Yeah, if I get asked that question, this is gonna be a dreaded conversation. Because I'm like, Well, there's infinite possibilities that we are, infinite possibilities that we're not. Because I'm thinking more logistically rather than, you know, sweetly in a cute relationship. Like, of course! The weird possibility that every infinite universe we are together. Just because they want to hear that. Or shaped by the choices we make. If you take a different path in life, who's to say you'd still be the same you? Otherwise, this, like every person on Earth, is playing God every day without even thinking, without even knowing it. Just by making choices they aren't even thinking about. That's what I mean. Weight of every choice is so far beyond anything we can comprehend. Just like the number of timelines and universes that might be out there. This is why you're a social media manager and not an educator, selling grand concepts based on emotions instead of facts. You teach high school band, Jordan. Get off your high horse. There are a lot of facts that go into managing social media for a major corporation, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Sorry, Alright, I need to just... Stop sipping! Stop it. Stop it. It's unholy. Jesus. I'm sorry. Anyway. Alright, I need to just stop. It's so attractive, man. Alright, what was I talking about? Yeah. You have to figure out a lot of things, like how to say the right things. I don't know. But also try to, you know, double down all the time, or triple down, because you used AI in one of your demo videos, and you're a guitar string company, and you used an AI song in one of your videos, and you tripled down recently, even though it's pretty obvious and the evidence is stacked up against you. I know that's niche. That is a niche drama. But yeah, certain company, not gonna name them, got in some heated water for a video where basically someone was playing guitar, but it was obvious that they were using Suno AI for the song, and they tried to show the behind the scenes, and the guitars and stuff were not exact. You can compare it to the song that was in the demo, and nothing about it. Like, the rhythm and the palm mutes and stuff like that were not the same. And also, how it was drifting. The tempo was drifting. And literally, they tripled down recently and saying, oh, you know, it was the mastering thing. We did, like, before they were like, no, we didn't use AI. We didn't. At all. None AI. And they're like, actually, we did use some AI. We did use some AI, but it was just for the mastering. It was just for the mastering. But the mastering thing also caused the drifting thing. They're like, no, that's not how that works. I have no idea about AI stuff. I don't use AI for my music. I don't know why I'm talking about this stuff. but I have actual non-AI mastering plugins that nothing drifts out of. I don't even have to use AI stuff to know mastering plugins don't do that. I use BX Master Deck. And no. But yeah, they're tripling down. It's like, God damn. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about this. I'm a musician, so I learn about this stuff. But I know, like, I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. Just, you know, the niche parts of the internet that I'm on. If you're a guitarist and musician, you've probably heard of it. But if not, yeah. Like, will that company continue to quadruple down? Or will they actually just say, yeah, we used Suno? Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about this. I know it was just on my mind. Oh yeah, I was talking about social media and how you have to defend a company. Anyway, it's much more involved than you think. So is high school band. Hey, you haven't chimed in on this whole discussion. You have any theories on deja vu? Yeah, do you think another version of you is out there who believes Hannah's theory? Shut up, it's not my theory, I'm just repeating what I heard. But yeah, what do you think? I've never really thought about it. It does seem far-fetched, but it's a neat concept. Maybe there's a version of me out there who found a good job right out of college. There it is, I mentioned it right before anyone else could. I knew it wasn't gonna be happen. It was gonna happen at some point, so So while listening to them all talk, I decided to bring them up on my own time. While they were talking, I was already on my second margarita. Just gonna help me gather some courage. Wait, you have a job, don't you? I thought you were all lined up with some company before you graduated. I thought so too. They had me. Told me I had a promising future and that I could come in for an interview once I was done with school. I've heard that line before. Jordan, you're such a pessimist. Us keeping things real, not the same thing. You're stick in the mud either way. Are you this drab all around all your bright-eyed high school students? Most of them have bad attitudes and misery complexes. I'm the teacher who gets them and listens to what they have to say. I can see how you're doing well on that job. I wish I could find a career as fulfilling as that. I went to interview for my dream job. God, the alcohol is giving me liquid courage earlier is really not helping me keep from dragging the mood down. It came to me and one other applicant. A few weeks later, they emailed me that they went with the other guy. That's so awful. It sounds like they led you on and backstabbed you as soon as they could. Sounds like my ex-boyfriend. I told you not dating an e-boy. Yeah, that's cute as piercings in those sluttiest little ways. Can you two get a grip already? Our friend is a crisis here. I'm really sorry that happened, but that's kind of what you need to expect from big companies. I wasn't interested in that kind of job myself, but I hear that the competition can be ruthless. Did you have a second and third job options lined up just in case? I did, but both of them fell through too. See, lower standards. I've tried. I've applied to tons of jobs lower on the food chain. I don't have a problem working somewhere I'm overqualified for, but I can't even land an interview at a convenience store. It's been like all of this all year. I think my standards have hit rock bottom. Just like Jordan's. Hey now, you take that back. Peter's the greatest person I ever dated. He really is the love of my life. I meant the e-boy before, Peter. Well, okay then. Yeah, if anyone lowered their dating standards and found true happiness, it's you, isn't that right, Hannah? My lovely queen. Oh, Mark, don't sell yourself so short. You always met most of my standards anyway. Oh, goodness gracious, sorry. All you had to do was get a decent haircut to win me over in the end. Hello. Feel a sudden drop in my chest, like all the air has been sucked out of my lungs. My eyes dart in disbelief to Hannah and Mark as they clasp hands on the tabletop. They look at each other sweetly, and as they do, the situation I find myself in finally dawns on me, crushing any of my remaining optimism. Wait, Jordan has a new boyfriend, and Mark and Hannah, you two are... I wore her down, just like I said I would in school. Where is this? No, don't do that. Why are you doing that? No! Properties, there we go. There you go. It's such a terrible thing to say. You proved yourself, and I wanted you. End of story. The gloominess I'd been fighting all day evaporates in its place. An alcohol-fueled frustration floods every corner of my being. Along with my sadness, my dignity leaves me as well. I pick up the margarita I'd left on the table, and in one long swig, I down it all. Almost choke, coughing over the powerful sting of the alcohol in my throat. I see my friends staring at me with astonishment through my watery eyes. Hannah quickly flaps a napkin in front of my face, which I take and press to my eyes. I know I'm gonna regret this in the morning, but the thought doesn't cross me at the time. After which, Jordan immediately shoves down a slice of a free herb bread into my hand, telling me it will help. I tear it down angrily with my teeth, and swallowing a hard chunk that I hadn't chewed well enough, and fall into another short coughing fit. Are you serious? You're telling me you two are dating and Jordan managed to find someone willing to swallow his sour mood all the time? Come on, that's mean. What's the big deal? So what if we did? I never stopped my boyfriends from coming back for seconds, you know. Oh god. A slight buzzing starts in my ears and the world fuzzes before my eyes in a second. My friends' reactions only make me feel even more miserable about the state I let myself get. At this moment I don't care about hiding anything. I don't care about how I look or sound. I'm a train wreck and all I can do is let myself go. I can't find a job. I live on my parents' money all year. I've been rejected from every damn place I've applied, and the chair on top is being the only single in our friend group. Not before Mark. Oh nice, I thought you'd go after Jordan again. It's nice being included. Same here. I know I feel like a horrible friend tomorrow, but right now all I can think about is I'm falling apart in front of everyone and can't keep the pieces together. You know what the worst part is? In every story I've written, at least the main character is someone. Even the ones in apocalypses, if I don't have anyone to start with. And listen, I know you're going through a rough patch right now, but you jumped like a lot of guys in the past few years. God. She's right, maybe if you'd settle like her and Mark, you would be starving with someone right now, yeah. Wait, excuse me? That's not what I meant, babe. I swear I was just... It's not my fault. I had such bad luck with Min. I don't think that's it, dude. What? You know, you dumped a few of some of the pretty dumb, petty reasons. I didn't know. Did you say that one of the guys you dated chewed too loudly? It was like saying next to a chainsaw. And the other guy annoyed you because he used finger tongues every time he agreed with something. There was also the one who liked his food super bland. Well, that one's actually that one. Listen, the more they point out the reasons of my past relationships didn't work out, the harder the truth becomes to deny. Oh, don't forget the one who vaped. That is actually good. I don't know, I wouldn't. And that dude who tried to convince you that birds weren't real. Would I break up? Actually, yeah, I dodged the bullet with that one. This is coming from the girl who believes in multiverses. I didn't say I believed in them, I just thought it was a cool theory. Birds not being real is a pretty cool theory too. You guys don't get it. I want someone who's a hopeless romantic, someone whose love can be felt in all their actions, from big gestures and love languages to these small things in day-to-day life. This romance dead. Can a man just eat delicately, cook something zesty, and God forbid, at least smoke like a king instead of vaping? Really? No, I don't want tobacco. I don't know. There's a short awkward pause. After I fall into a pout and sip the last running drops of my margarita again. I'm probably being unreasonable right now, but with all this frustration, I need to get off some steam. This is one of the perks of being in a group of friends over a decade. I know they won't take this to heart, but they'll still give me the truth, as bitter as my taste. Listen, Snow, we know how hard it is to be single. Sometimes it's no big deal, other times it hurts like hell to be alone. You need to keep an open mind. Maybe you'll find someone who will care for you as much as you do for them. I know he's trying to comfort me, but I'm not in the mood. The cork in my self-pity was popped right off. And there was no putting the toothpaste back in the tube. I frowned at Jordan and finally tried to take another sip of my now empty drink. Anna chimes in. Have you thought about calling up any of your exes that you might, I don't know, be able to tolerate? Since you're that desperate. It's like a romance. Hannah, remember? Ugh, it's overrated in long terms, no. It's nice sometimes, but too much of it makes it less special. That's why Mark and I are doing so well. Well, thanks, babe. Anytime. I see how adorable you together. It's not fair. Where did I go wrong? I've been trying to tell you. You're not really listening at this point. Somewhere in my mind, I hear and believe Jordan, but right now, it's much easier to drown out the truth in self-pity. I'm starting to feel the sharp edges of my frustration smooth away into a dual ache in my head and chest. My friends are still trying to comfort me. Even pitching guys they know. But after all that, the alcohol is really starting to creep up on me. I stand up from the table too quickly and the floor seems to tilt underneath me. I clutch the corner of the table for balance, as my words come out more slurred than I expected. I'm going home now. Oh jeez, I knew you downed those margaritas way too fast. Can you even get your home by yourself? My heart sinks even lower. When I ordered the drinks, I thought I'd be staying in the restaurant long enough for it to wear off. Now, here I was, drunk, annoyed, and the mercy of my friends. I surrender and shake my head pitifully. It's probably not a good idea. Don't worry about it, I'll give you a lift. Mark and I came here together, so we can just stop by your place. And then he can take me home. Sure. Come on, let's go. I'm sorry things are rough right now, Snow. But it's... fuck. It's still nice seeing you after so long. Things get worse, you can count on us to be there for you. Thanks, Jordan. Good seeing you too. Tell Peter I said hi. I will. Goodbye. Bye. As I ride in the passenger seat of their car, face pressed against the cool glass of the window, I reflect on where I went wrong. Isn't it better to cut your losses early than suffer through a relationship that won't make you happy in the long run? Should I really lower my standards and just accept being single anyway? I'm not hideous enough to scare men away and not hot enough to intimidate them either. Being average looking was never the issue. I've always been the type to set a goal and go after it. Well, until recently. My imagination is my greatest pride, and if anyone took the time to read my writings these days, they'd see that. I shift in my seat as the foggiest wisps of an idea tries to form in my head. I haven't let anyone see my writings in so long. It mostly consists of spicy romance tales and complex fantasy world building. I've been writing for myself. I can't decide if that's... Did I see something? Sorry, I thought I saw something. I can't decide if that's a personal victory or another failure. Whisper? Am I fucking crazy? I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'm gonna try anyway to not see anything there. Alright. Make Hannah drop me off in front of the building. She wanted to walk me to the door, but even as drunk as I am, I wasn't gonna let her to see the state my place was in. I stumble through the door, clumsily locking it behind me and kicking off my shoes. I'm thirsty. That feels good. Alright. Now I'm back in my own place. I just want to get out of these clothes and into something soft and comforting. I leave a trail of shed clothing to the bathroom, where I wash up in the sink. After I dry my face, I pause and stare into my own eyes in the mirror for a long time. It's uncomfortable. I don't even know why I'm doing it, searching for something maybe? Like the answers to all my problems are somehow hidden away inside myself. Maybe if I look deep enough, I'll find them. I break from my own tired gaze, drop the damn towel on the counter, and leave the bathroom. Where are all my clothes? It was there. Alright. I rummaged through a basket of clean laundry in my bedroom. I folded everything when I put them in there. Oh, there it is. Oh wait, no. Okay. I folded everything when I put them in there. And after picking through it for clothes all week, everything was a disheveled mess. I extract a set of cotton pajamas and slip into them. They might be a bit little wrinkled, but they're still soft and smelled fresh. There you go. As I stand back to button the shirt in the front, I catch my reflection in the dresser mirror. Even with the scowl engraved on my face, pajamas like this made anyone look cute. I do look cute, adorable even. If I had a boyfriend right now, I'd send him a selfie. Or if he was living with me, I'd cuddle up next to him. Or I'd groan loudly and fling myself onto my bed, squeezing a pillow to my chest and curling around it. Even cuddling in real life hasn't been as romantic as it was in the books. Curling up with a book or dating sim on my phone is way more comfortable. Was there anything that was good in real life, as in my digital and paper fantasies? All the guys I dated and dumped through my college days started parading in my memory. Sure, they all complimented my looks in one way or another, but had any of them been romantic about it? A romantic man would see me in these pajamas and gush about how soft and huggable they made me. A romantic man would just look me up and down and say, "You look good, babe," but instead he'd yearn for me. Did I ever get more than that from any of them? Something as intimate and special as being in a relationship needs to be adorned and romanticized to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, it's not special at all. That's why, in the end, none of them were the one. I sit up in bed and glance at the rows of manga on the little bookshelf by my bed. The best minute of my life came from these pages. And when the books weren't enough, there were games with even more guys to choose from. The Men in Love and Freak Space and You Obey were so amazing in so many ways, giving me all that I could ever ask for in regular men. They were bristling with passion and romance in so many ways, and in so many stories they didn't even know it. Only made them all the more charming. My eyes traveled along the spines of the books, lovingly reading the familiar titles and being filled with sparks of affection for each and every one. That's when I declared, heated and still a bit drunk, to my empty apartment. I'm done with real men forever. Duty men are all I ever need. It's like cleansing my soul to let out those words. I feel instantly better as the resolve takes a hold of me. Spring up from my bed and head straight for the desk across my room. I pluck a fresh notebook from the dwindling pile and snatch a favorite pin from the jar. I whirl around to face the whole bedroom, and once again I declare out loud. What if we have neighbors like, shut up! Shut up! This is why you are alone! This is why you're single! Fuck you! Anyway. If I can't find a romantic man in real life, then I'll just write my own. I've written plenty of steamy romances in the past, but never one specifically meant for me. Trying to think of what to say as the neighbor. Shut up! That's why you're single! Man tailored to my whims. Not the love interest that I always flung at them as a clumsy self-insert, but me, as I am, with none of my traits idealized or imagined away. No, this man I was about to ride into existence would be mine alone, and he would give me everything I needed. But that seems like a very long list, so I should probably narrow it down. The first step in writing anything is inspiration. What kind of man do I think would be the best for me? Wait, is there gonna be like more things? Can't do a rich yandere daddy. I can't do a rich yandere daddy. I'm guessing that's for the future. This is a demo, so. A damaged bad boy. Not really interested in a damaged bad boy, but I guess it'll have to do. The glossy cover of a men's catalog for my junk mail pile catches my eye. Perfect. They always pick the best model for men's clothing. Even the older guys are all dilfs. Are total dilfs. I grab the catalog and bring it back to my desk. Flipping through the pages, I scan through the different models and their poses and outfits. They all look good in their own ways, but none of them inspire me the way I need. The farther into the catalog I go, the desperate I get to find the right man. Then towards the back of the entire catalog, just before all the underwear and socks, I see him. A buff guy with slick backed hair has one artful strand swooping across his strong brow. There are two photos of him. In one, he wears a tight black compression shirt, a jacket slung almost at a side over his muscular shoulder. In the bigger photo, what the fuck is that? Photo? That's the one that gets me, hands in his pockets, wearing a jacket they're actually trying to sell. I can almost smell the black leather through the page, feel the smooth, rich glide of the sexiest material a man could ever wear. I lift my eyes to meet his in the photo. His eyes squint piercingly into mine above the edge of his visors. Aviators, lover. The slight pouty sneer on his full lips gives off the perfect get lost attitude. I can see it clearly from that one image. I know exactly what I want. I bite my lip as a flood of desire washes over my body. And let's be honest, it didn't take much these days after being single for so long. I steady my shaking fingers, flip open the brand new notebook and ready my pen to write. Stare at the model in the catalog and picture a slightly different version of the real life man behind him. I was done with actual men after all. I closed my eyes and formed him in my mind. He looked just as tall and buff as the model, with only darker hair and bluer eyes. The model has freckles, but I want them gone. They're too cute for the guy I'm picturing. You know, this guy's skin is slightly tan from riding his motorcycle. His hands are rough. A working man's hands. A working man's hands, you know? He's like what's the fucking... I don't know. I can imagine what those hands feel like over my body, and I squeeze my thighs together. My imagine still running wild with all the details. Kill me. Oh. Am I getting turned on? Like, is my character getting turned on? Is that why I'm squeezing my thighs together? I don't know. His clothes are far rougher and more worn than the pristine outfit given to the model. His jeans are thin at the knees, covered in stubborn oil stains in a few places. His t-shirt are equally stained, but the leather jacket was pristine. I think about how nice and warm it would be to slide my arms into that jacket with him while I hug him on a cold night. Maybe after a ride on his motorcycle leaves me chilly and needing his warmth. I imagine all the sorts of things about him. Some I write down, others I don't have time to describe. But before my vision begins to swim, the world seems to tilt gently onto its side and I slide with it, not even fully aware of what's happening before everything goes dark. Coming back to myself isn't great. My temples are throbbing like someone flicking me between the eyes. My stomach feels like it's twisting itself, and all my limbs are numb while something somehow sore at the same time. I lift my head and my cheek peels away from the paper of my notebook somewhat stuck to my face. I must have fallen asleep, face first, at my own writing. I can almost taste the ink that's smeared across the page by my own drool. Gross. I slowly regain my focus and squint down the page I was writing. My writing is nothing more than a messy blur of lines. I've been a spot in a poor attempt at artwork. I think I've been trying to sketch a pair of alluring eyes, but in the harsh light of morning. Looks like an alien crossbred with a K-pop star that's been slightly microwaved. I groan the words aloud to really hammer home the point that I shouldn't write and sketch while drunk. I can vaguely remember what I wrote, but right now there are more immediate priorities. My body feels heavy as I pull away from the desk and stagger into the bathroom to wash up. After a long hot shower, I make coffee strong enough to wake the dead and slump into the kitchen chair. Feels like every takes an eternity as my temples keep pounding. Reach for the water cooler and the painkillers in the center of the table. You're a train. There's a train outside. I think I can hear it. Or or is that the music? I don't know. I forced myself to choke down a biscuit left in the half-empty package, just to give the meds something to work with. The first cup is always black. Cream and sugar come later once I feel like a person again. As I sit there alone in my kitchen, my headache slowly subsiding and the nausea easing just enough for me to relax, I face another discomfort. My body slowly recovers from the night, before my mind examining it too. It's just as harsh as the effects of too much alcohol for someone who hasn't drunk in a while. My friend's words play a few times over and my reaction shifts slightly with each repetition. The first time I'm hurt that they were so blunt with me. The second I try to pretend it doesn't matter and that they were wrong. The third time I'm annoyed at myself for starting to agree with them. They should stop being so picky and expecting their Prince Charming to ride on a white horse and sweep me off my feet. At the time, those little things seem like make it or break it factors, but now maybe I was a bit mean with my ex who chewed loudly. A new resolve clawed its way through my hangover. I'll prove everyone wrong, even myself. I can find someone without nitpicking every little turnoff. Finish my coffee and steady myself, then pull out my phone, doing what any sensible adult does when life feels a little too empty. I download a dating app. Spend the rest of the morning and find a good part of the afternoon sobering up and trying to make my profile look like it belongs to a functioning human being. I pick the best photos I can find of myself, the ones where I look mildly put together, and I try to write something that sounds interesting. For 3 drafts, that makes it sound like a hostage writing a resume note about myself. I give up on sincerity and go with chronically single, sleep-deprived writer looking for someone who's not a murderer. Funny is easier than honest. Always has been. I may enjoy writing as a hobby, but trying to sell my own personality feels like assembling furniture without the manual. As soon as I'm satisfied with the photos and details, my job is done. Place my phone down on the table and stretch and let out a groan. I don't know if I feel good about it or not. As I look around the kitchen, I start to realize the problem. Well, that is the music. It's like it is the music. Okay. There are dishes piled in the sink and on the counter. Empty food containers strewn about and the trash bin is overflowing. From there, my eyes move to the main living room, with its own share of a mess that continues all the way to my bedroom. Even with my body putting up a fight, I force myself, step by step, to start making sense of the chaos. Let myself go, but cleaning my apartment through the hangover feels like I'm slowly taking control again. I'm gonna try and get my life in order. This is a good start. I make it as far as loading the dishwasher and tossing all my trash before my phone starts chiming. Whether or not I did a good enough job with my profile, the guys don't seem to care. I'm surprised to start getting matches within hours. With nothing to do than to recover from last night's embarrassment, I spend the rest of the day casually messaging through several prospective dates while I continue making sense of the mess in my apartment. At least messaging whenever I wasn't instantly blocking guys who opened a convo with their dick pics or requests for nudes. Although I'm a bit apprehensive at first, the ones who chat back seem to have good intentions and are actually pretty nice to talk to. After a while, I feel a little tug of hope in my chest. This might actually be a good idea. To my surprises, there's one man I click with over our love of manga series. He's in my general area. A bit of a drive away, but still closer than I would expect. He isn't bad looking, I tell myself. So I decide to see where this goes. I even start smiling and giggling along with some of his comments, agreeing with points he makes about manga and ignoring other messages just to keep chatting with him. Maybe this won't be so bad after all. The call came in while I was in the middle of reading a message. A pile of clothes in my arms. It was Hannah again. Hey Hannah. Hey, just thought I'd call and check up on you after last night. You doing okay? I am now getting sobered up with a lot of coffee and something to eat. Phew, that's a relief. I was worried we'd upset you too much. Sorry if we made you feel miserable. I wanted to jokingly agree, but I knew that wouldn't be fair. Went back to gathering clothes and towels around the apartment and needed to go into the wash while we continued to talk on speaker. No, you were all pretty small by everything. Don't worry, I'm doing better, I promise. Sure, you're not just trying to get me off the phone so you can try to cry in your pillow, right? Got out of the way last night, actually. It's a new day or night by now, so I decided it couldn't hurt to try out a dating app just to see what happens. So that's what I've been doing. Oh, I think that's a great idea. Thanks for not making fun of me over it. I would never. You haven't cast your net out in a while. I think it's long overdue. Thanks. Actually, you have a couple of matches. Actually been nice to talk to a guy. That's cool, not everyone connects so fast. I don't know if that we connected, more of just finding things in common. It lives pretty close by. Oh, he actually messaged me and asked if we wanted to meet up. Well, this guy works so fast. Are you going to take him up on it? I don't know, we just started talking. Have you enjoyed it? Yeah, I think so. Then you should try talking to him face to face. Find out if he carries a conversation in real life, not just through messages. If you still like talking to him, then it's at least worth trying for a bit. I guess that makes sense. I can find out if I don't, just go for it. That's the spirit. Just make sure he doesn't take you anywhere shady. Yeah, that's the nervousness of dating anyone online. I'll do my best. I'll tell him yes right now. I don't want to get too excited for you too quickly, but I really hope this is a good thing for you. If nothing else, maybe I'll end up being a good friend. Just the idea of having to friend zone another boyfriend is enough to cause some anxiety, but I try to stay optimistic. Right. Oh my god, how long have I been streaming? I'm gonna take a little break. Little break. I almost did this. I'll take a little break. Alright, I'm back. Let me do this. Try to meet the guy. Alright. Well, at least if we don't work out, I know there's no one else in my friend group for him to date since you're all together now. You need to turn up my music. Yeah. Sorry, that's an awkward way to find out. I guess you haven't been on socials much. We've all been posting together as a couple for a while, so we just thought you knew. I don't go online, so I wouldn't know. I don't go on social media to check friends stuff, because I don't like that kind of thing. I don't know, just not my thing. I mentally roll my eyes. I literally brought this on myself, didn't I? Socials have just made everything else harder. I haven't really paid much attention. Sorry for acting like that. Don't worry about it. Now you know, and hey, you might be on your way of joining us all on the couple's bliss. I'm actually curious to see Jordan displaying any kind of emotion regardless. I'd like to meet his boyfriend sometime. He's like a different person, I swear. Not in a huge way, but seriously. It's like his aura just completely lights up and glows whenever he's around Peter. And what about Mark? Is he a completely different person around you now? Oh no, he's still an airhead, but now he calls me babe. I smile softly, but a creeping loneliness seeps into my chest. I swallow it down. Well, I get in the way of me being happy for my friends. Just so long as you're both treating each other right. Of course we are. It's easier for us to be together since we've known each other since middle school. Weird crackling audio. This. No, I didn't fix it. Alright. I know I wouldn't fix it, but god damn. Something. Now it's gone. Alright. I thought that would be an obstacle, but no. Turns out, when you know someone that long, you really know them. True, you always know about the fan fictions I wrote all through high school instead of paying attention in class. And you know all the fan fictions I commissioned from you too. I still have the notebook tucked on a shelf somewhere. I thought it was so naughty, but really wasn't as graphic as what I write these days. Speaking of, how's your writing going anyways? Ever think about making your career or even a side gig or something? You know, you were always so talented. I thought about it, but no, I just write for myself. If you say so, I think a lot of people would pay for some spicy romance when it's tastefully written. Tastefully well written. Perhaps something to fall back on. Usually it's the other way around when a creative person with a creative passion or a corporate position. Life is just weird right now. I understand, but hey, you just go on that date, meet this guy, and see where it goes. Don't forget to tell me all about it afterwards. If you don't hear from me, just assume I was murdered. Or that it went poorly. Don't even joke about that. But how about you text me that address when you know where you're going? Just to be sure. Yeah. Once I know, you'll know. I have to go. Mark couldn't get my attention, so he bet himself he could jump from the sofa in the living room to the kitchen counter. I gotta go make sure he's okay, because if he broke something, I'm the one who has to explain to the paramedics why my boyfriend thought he could fly. In the background, I could hear Mark say, "It's all good, babe." Better take care of that. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for checking up on me. Of course, bye-bye. Mark being something. I hang up the phone and instantly pull up the messages I missed. A few more bits of info about his job, his schedule, and when would be the best time to meet. To my surprise, yeah, it is tomorrow night. Was soon to go out for a drink. I tapped my finger on the side of the phone for a minute or two, wondering if it was a good idea. If it was too good to be true or too soon to be good. And to his credit, he hadn't pestered me about it since asking the question and had been waiting for me to answer. Message him back with a yes. And he takes a few moments to send a smiley face and a heart. I feel an all too familiar twinge of nervous excitement at the text commitment. That glimmer of expectation and hope of what it could be. I give myself a little pep talk as I continue to chat with my mysterious guy into the night. In between organizing clothes and cleaning out the fridge. He managed to keep my interest enough that I eventually agreed to meet him at a bar he suggests tomorrow around dinner time. None of our conversations is too flowery or too clunky. It seemed to flow well. We learned a bit about each other and talked more about music and shows that we enjoyed. Had a few little disagreements about minor things. It felt normal, harmless even. I tried to say that it was fine, but I was hoping that he'd start flirting with me when we met in person. When the conversation actually wound down and we said our goodnights, I set my phone aside and headed back to my desk. Writing with pen and paper would take too long tonight, and I opened my laptop and dove right into my unfinished romance story I'd started a few weeks back. Okay, not the one we wrote last night. I'd run out of steam on it, but now steam was all I had. I poured it all out into a blank page. Passion, rampant desire, declarations of love worth a Hallmark movie. All the good stuff that flooded my brain with that sweet, sweet dopamine. I fell asleep that night in a more pleasant mood than I had been in a while. I opened one note. Close. And wake up feeling even better. I passed the day finishing the cleaning I'd started yesterday. Scrubbing, dusting, vacuuming, and evacuating the beautiful apartment. I've let drown beneath my neglect. For the first time in weeks, I feel like I can rest easier in the newly clean space. Do I have the chance to bring a guy back here at least, now I won't be ashamed of it. Having finished all the hard work, I finally checked my messages after turning off notifications. I've had other guys messaging me even after I went to sleep. My mysterious guy sends me a good morning text to the address for our date spot. It isn't too far away, but slightly outside of my usual driving radius. Not that I've been going anywhere lately. The rest of the day goes by in a calm span of hours spent writing, reading manga, and catching up on a show I've lost track of. After the afternoon starts shifting into evening, the anticipation begins to creep in. I go through my closet, hunting down an outfit to wear to my date. It looks like we're going to a bar, so it's not as if the dress code matters much. I could easily just throw on a sweater and jeans and be done with it, but it's been so long since I've actually really dressed up. Longer still since I've gone for a look meant to knock it out of the park. Nothing wrong with going overboard once in a while. Fancy blazer and a stylish black bun shirt. Okay. This had been my old reliable throughout weddings, parties, and even a few job interviews. With that price tag as well, it had better. It's made of linen, which the salesperson told me was very fancy. This plus a nice watch, and you had me looking more presentable than I had been in weeks. When I go into the bathroom to wash my face and start working on my hair, it feels like months since I've had used any of these products. Even yesterday, I hadn't put in half this much effort, and that was just dinner out with friends. Right now, I want to look stunning. If this guy has any taste, he'll appreciate how much work I put in for him. They'll even throw a compliment or two my way. Maybe you'll want to have sex. Alright, sorry. So far, he hasn't brought up my looks at all. I mean, props to him for not being shallow, but then I am getting dressed with every intention of being trouble. That kind of trouble a man doesn't recover from easily. Hairstyling finally complete, I check the time and slip on my shoes. After a while, I give myself one last once over in the mirror by the door. Haven't looked or felt this sexy in a long time. It feels good to have a reason to look my best. After checking that I have my phone, keys, and everything I need, I'm finally ready to head out to my first date in over a year. Damn. Tired. Should I... think? I think I'm gonna do is stop stream, take a little break, and then come back. I'm sorry, we didn't get any... Well, I guess we got a hot guy, but they're already in a relationship. That was with Jordan. Anyway. But I'll be right back. I'm tired. Hey.